Hey, what's up everybody? Long time no talk. Hey, today we're going to talk about the very first steps you need to take whenever building a 500-gallon propane tank smoker. Today we're going to go over key measurements, and it's going to be your basis. This is going to be a base standard of measurements: how tall, how big the throat needs to be, how wide the doors need to be, how wide the center needs to be for your door strap seals to sit on. Let's get this camera turned around. Let's get into it. It's a lot of information. I'm gonna be racking my brain for about 10 minutes. So stick around. This is very, very important information. You're gonna love it. All right, let's get into it. All right, so as you can tell there, I'm a little bit rusty on my recording. So let's get into it. Without further ado, let's talk about this side of the propane tank. All right, you're building a 500-gallon propane tank smoker, right? First things first, you want to choose what you're going to use. An elliptical style like this, or your hemispherical. The hemispherical is going to be a little bit more of a pronounced, missile shape over here. This is your elliptical style. The hemispherical is a lot more pointy. So whatever you come across online or your neighbor has or whatever, make sure you go to a step down for your firebox, or if you decide to use a square firebox or build your own or whatever, a cubed firebox, this doesn't apply to you. But if you're going to use another propane tank as your firebox, make sure you choose the same thing that the one you're using as the cook chamber for the firebox. So I have an elliptical 250-gallon, and I have an elliptical 500-gallon right here. Like I said, you want to use whatever your cook chamber is, you want to go a step down. If you're doing a 500-gallon, you want a 250-gallon for the firebox. If you're doing a 250-gallon, you want a 120-gallon for your firebox. And typically what you want to do is take your, whatever you're using for the firebox, cut it in half. So these are about 90 inches usually. This is an elliptical 250-gallon, cut it in half, 45 inches, use it as the firebox. While we're over here, let's talk about right off the get-go, the throat, the inlet where you're going to attach the 250-gallon propane tank for the fire to go into the cook chamber and cook all your food. On a 500-gallon, you typically want a 20-inch hole, from the top of that hole being at dead center on this side of the propane tank, or whatever side you choose. Let me repeat that. You want to find dead center on this side, which is going to be where your center is over here. This is dead center on the side of this, and you're going to use a center head square to find this. You're going to find top dead center, and you're going to find your side center. Once you find side center, you're going to come over here, and once you find top dead center, you're going to come over here. You're going to find your center, or you can use a laser level or whatever. Find your center, start there, come down 10 inches, and just start that point right there and draw a huge 20-inch circle, all right? That's gonna be your cutout for your throat to attach this curved in over here. Now, we got that out of the way. Let's talk about your doors. Well, no, before we talk about that, let's talk about how high you want this thing. Nobody ever talks about this online. I can't believe it. So if you have ever used something like from Academy Sports, the old country Pecos, those are around 32, 33, somewhere around there, 32 and a half, 33 for the door, for you to open up the door. That right there, that line, the bottom of the door or the start of the door, whatever you want to call it, it's about 30, 32, 30 and a half, 33 and a half, somewhere around there. On a 500-gallon, you want it to be about 34, 33, something like that, something around that range. Choose something that works for you. Keep that in mind, okay? But that's a good base. I use 34 inches, all right? Or maybe sometimes 37 inches, depending on the application. I got some taller individuals I've built smokers for. So 34, 37 inches is where you want that bottom line of your door to be at. Now, your door handle, okay, that needs to hang down a little bit lower. If you're going to do a 37-inch door, maybe a 37-inch door handle. No, if you're going to do a 37-inch height on the door right here, you want your handle to hang down a little bit lower. So maybe go down to 33 inches for the handle, so you got that extra oomph to open up that guy. Speaking of doors, typical range, I've never heard anybody talk about this. Once you find top dead center, your bare minimum you want to go over to start the top line of your door is 6 inches. Bare minimum. You don't want to go up any higher. You don't want to be up here at top dead center. That door is going to be insanely difficult to open up. Bare minimum over 6 inches for the top of your door. You want to go over maybe 8 inches if you don't want to do counterweights or anything like that and reduce the weight of the door. You can go 8, 9, 10, whatever you want to do. A good base is 6 inches over from top dead center. Talking about top dead center and doors and all that stuff, you typically want the door to be about 38 inches, 36 inches, somewhere in there, as long as your center strap right here is 6 inches thick. And you want 6 inches thick because, you know, personally for me, I've always used an 1.5 inch door strap to seal the doors. And then the same thing on the inside as well, so that I can fit my thermometers right there. 3-inch face is going to work out great. Another cool thing for measuring these things, dead center of the weld is usually a common reliable point so that you can get a good measurement over to how wide you need to be for your door to get 38 inches, 36 inches, or whatever. You know, and then you can use the inseam whenever that puddle, you know, cools down. It creates a nice, good, even line right there. These things have to be made pretty precisely, so that's a good start. It doesn't have to be crazy, super precise, but that's a good line to base off of to get over, to get you nice, sharp door line. All right. Talked about the throat. We talked about the door. Talked about top dead center. Let's talk about the collector. We talked about height as well. So we're going good here. All right. On the collector for one of these propane tanks. All right. Of course, you want to find your dead center as well. At bare minimum, you want your collector to be 8 inches wide. Your collector is going to be at the dead center of your grate, all right? Your grates are going to sit a little bit below or right at your door line on the bottom right here. So you want to find dead center, and I'll show you guys how to do it. You want to find dead center and go up 4 inches and go down 4 inches at bare minimum. Now you can go bigger. You can do 10 inches wide, and you can do, the width needs to be about right here at the curve on each end. That's how big you want that collector to be. All the way to right about where that line is right there, all right? All the way over, 10 inches wide, 8 inches wide, bare minimum, okay? Now, for your smokestack size, bare minimum, you want that guy to be 8 inches inner diameter at bare minimum 8 feet tall. Now, you can mess around with the throat. You're not going to do a 20-inch hole to a 20-inch hole. We're going to, you know, have that. We're going to do some cool things that's going to have an upward deflector, and I'll show you guys later in the video. But this all is a good base to start your 500-gallon smoker. I can't believe this information isn't just given to you guys out here like this. I can't believe it's just not laid out in front of you so you can just get going. It's absolutely insane. Now, I'll include in the description my cool little center head square video on how to find top dead center. And it's honestly very, very simple. Basically, you need to start out first, kind of putting a level up there and seeing if this guy is level and picking up whichever end that you need to get this guy level, and then use this cool little tool to find level like this. You find your level like that, and then you just draw a line, and boom, there you go. It's a pretty cool tool. I'll show you guys. I won't show you guys. I'm dropping stuff everywhere. My apologies. I'll put the link in the description for a YouTube short that I had made that shows you how to find the center of this tank, or a tank in general. But guys, I hope you... Wait. Can't end the video. Can't end the video right there. Sorry, can't talk. Almost forgot to talk about how you're going to lift this thing up. So, first thing, A, you're either going to pick this thing up with just a chain hoist attached to your ceiling, your building, or whatever, or B, you're going to go get yourself a gantry crane. Mine is a Strongway from Northern Tool. You have to get the trolley So you can slide this all the way down. All right, check it out. It can slide just like that. And that's where you attach the chain hoist. This is called a gantry crane, yet again, from Strongway, from Northern Tool. Harbor Freight has them as well. This thing is pretty decently wide. It's got a lot of space in there. All right, it's in my garage and it works great. It's okay, it's cool. But key thing you need to keep in mind is this thing does have a limitation for how wide it is. All right. If you see, there's 2 posts with wheels on the floor. Wheels on the floor. All right, this thing only goes a certain width. So whenever you pick up these propane tanks, make sure your gantry crane is wider than your trailer tires. All right. You can't have it smaller because you're not going to be able to slide this thing all the way over your trailer and be able to lift this stuff up. Also, you need to think about ceiling height, all that stuff. Take it into consideration. Final thoughts on the information I'm giving you guys. The total length of this thing is going to be 14 feet at bare minimum, right? Honestly, you can go 13 and a half feet, 13 and a quarter. But I mean, don't go any less than that. I mean, you're going to ruin, the draw and, all that stuff. The firebox needs to be a certain size and the stack needs to be a certain size and all that stuff. 13 and a quarter to 14 feet in total. If you're going to put it on a trailer, keep that in mind. All right. A lot of trailers out there, very, very common size, 14 feet, deck, length, width, 7 feet, sometimes 5 feet, so on and so on. So whatever you're putting that guy on, we've already talked about our height at bare minimum. The bottom of the door needs to be 34 inches up off of the ground. Your bare minimum, 14 feet, 13.25. I wouldn't go past that. So keep that in mind whenever you're putting it on a trailer or whatever, your area, your space, your back patio, the back of your restaurant or whatever you're trying to do. Just keep that information into your head and just, take it into consideration. All right, I think that's it. If anything else comes to my head, I will totally get back on here and let you guys know some stuff, or we'll just pile it into the videos when we start building this thing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've learned so much information from all of this, and I can't wait to build this along with you guys. Comment if you have questions, and I will get to them ASAP. Guys, take care. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you in the build series. Take care.